today. From Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, this is the National Football League. We'll see Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals taking on Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers.
It's the NFL on EA Sports, and there you get a look at Paul Brown Stadium on the banks of the Ohio River in Cincinnati. The enthusiasm of this Cincinnati crowd in full effect a moment ago as their Bengals took the field to the delight of this sold-out crowd. And they're all set as they'll match up with the Los Angeles Chargers. The kicker, Dustin Hopkins, set to get this one going. And we are underway from Cincinnati. To return it, Darius Phillips. Time to see this Bengals offense here as they get set for their first drive. And under center, of course, is the #1 pick in the 2020 draft, now in year number 2, Joe Burrow.
And what a rookie season he had indeed. A knee injury knocked him out in Week 11 at Washington. And while the Bengals only won 2 of his 10 starts, I think everyone around the league and anyone who watched the NFL came away impressed. 13 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions, nearly 270 yards a game passing, the 3rd most by a rookie in NFL history.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Just a yard to go here on 2nd down. The former 2nd-round pick, this is Joe Mixon.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Now Joe Mixon. And he's going to get across midfield and into Charger territory. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Big 13. Big 13.
They go play action with Burrow. That's caught by the tight end, Drew Sample. And he's brought to the ground with another 1st down at the Chargers' 24-yard line. Joe Burrow in year number 2, moving around pretty good considering the seriousness of his injury last year. If you're a defensive coordinator here, what are you trying to do to slow Joe Burrow down?
I think you want him to be in rhythm. I think you want him to be on time. And normally, you want to take that away from a quarterback, make him hold it a little bit longer. But when he has a chance to maneuver around the pocket, sometimes get out of it, big plays result. I want him throwing the ball on time and then tackling the receivers so there's no extra yardage.
Now Burrow on first down. Trying to get it to Chase, but it's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Charger TD. So a pick six there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick six going the other way.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. And the Chargers grab the 7-0 lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. On the return, Phillips. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Here again comes Joe Burrow and the offense for the Bengals. And looking to erase his memory bank from his opening drive a moment ago that ended in a pick six for the first points of the ball game.
And in my experience, a lot of quarterbacks, after throwing a pick six, the first thing they want to do is fire another one and get those points back immediately. But what really helps you get back in sync is a good, long, methodical drive, mixing the run and the pass, tamp things down a little bit.
After the pick six, they go right back to the air. They're looking for Higgins, but it is intercepted. Picked by Kenneth Murray. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. The Charger offense ready for their first possession, and it's Justin Herbert at the helm in his second season now out of Oregon.
About the only thing that didn't go right for Justin Herbert in his rookie season, the team's overall record. The Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL was the 4th rookie with over 4,000 yards passing, just 38 yards short of the rookie record set by Andrew Luck in 2012. In addition, he set the single-season record for passing touchdowns by a rookie with 31, breaking the mark of Cleveland's Baker Mayfield. This young man's potential, limitless. That's why so many people want him to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers and help open up the stadium big in 2021.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. First down, and they stick with Eckler. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Now a 2nd down and 6. Gets it into the hands of Allen on the jet sweep. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
possession this time for Justin Herbert. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
The Chargers will bring out the field goal unit now. It's a 39-yard attempt, right hash. Hopkins' kick is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
So after the made field goal, 10-0 here early as the kick's away. On the return, Phillips. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Joe Burrow trots out again with the rest of his offense. He's completed 4 passes so far in this game. The issue is 2 of them have been to the guys in the wrong colored jersey.
So I'd say there's a little bit of clouded vision, right? Sometimes he sees clearly, sometimes he doesn't. I know on the sideline they'll be going over things and talk about what the coverages are and what they're seeing. So you used to look at the snapshots. Now you look at the Microsoft Surface Pro. He's got to analyze what he's seeing and be more accurate with the ball.
Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. Broke a tackle, but not much room there ultimately. Just up past the 25 and no further. Not much there, only a yard.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion and would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Still 9 yards to go on 2nd down from the 27. Here's Burrow. Throw left side, complete to Chase. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. A gain of 6 there on first. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
To the air again, Burrow. Flush to his right. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into his windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
Here we go. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. That's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Herbert and the Chargers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 37. He'll hand off here to Eckler. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
How about the job there on the outside? Shed the wide receiver and was able to make the tackle on the perimeter.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Herbert will give this one to Eckler. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on 3rd. Out of the gun, Herbert. Hard throw, incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
4th down, and on is Ty Long to punt. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see, do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in the mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. Back to Mixon on 2nd down. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Now it's Burrow. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the 1st down.
Joey Bosa in on the stop.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Burrow. This goes out wide for Mixon. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and that'll bring up a third down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
On third down, Burrow. This is caught. It's Boyd. And they move this all the way down to the 9. A big connection on that one. 37 yards. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. He'll drop this one down to Mixon, and he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. That's good for a gain of 6, second and goal. Well, that's now 4 completions in a row, a good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure, and we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
This defense has held on so far. Now from the 3, this is 3rd and goal. Mixon trying to punch it in. No gain on the play that time, so a big stop, and it's going to leave them with a 4th and goal. Well, let's see what they do. They're knocking on the door here in the second quarter.
And you know what you look at on your play sheet? Your 2-point conversion plays, because you've drawn up a number of them in today's football. You don't just have 1 or 2 for the game. You have more like 6 or 7. Which one do you like here? Because that's essentially what you're going for right now. That spot of the field, call one of those and go get 6.
McPherson's kick is good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
Andre Roberts now to return it. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Chargers going to take over now late in this first half. And we'll see how much they want to push things, leading already here 10-3. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to throw here, Herbert. And this is incomplete. Very lucky to get that one back. That nearly picked. It's 2nd down now.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. On the screen, this is Eckler. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop them here on 3rd down. A handoff, it's Eckler. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Here's Ty Long now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengal offense going to see the ball one more time in this first half. And they've got less than 30 seconds to go here, so not a lot of time to work with. A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. He completes it to Boyd. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard.
Here we go. Hey, can.
From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. Joey Bosa, he's the culprit, causes a loss of 5, and it brings up 4th down. So we have reached halftime intermission with the visiting Chargers on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far, and certainly plenty to look forward to as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this 3rd quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the 3rd quarter. On the return, Andre Roberts from his end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this 3rd quarter. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Here's Eckler to begin the drive. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on 1st down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
Coming up on a 2nd and 6. It's Eckler again. And he's got some space here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 43 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Running on first down, Eckler. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. Tackle made there by Chidobe Awuzie.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
On second down, Eckler. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. And some room to run now. And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. On the give, this is Eckler. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Now Eckler. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And down to the 7-yard line.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Austin Eckler taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Chargers take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is lets you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Hopkins with the extra point, and the lead is now 17-3. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it's Austin Eckler who finishes things off with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. On the return, Phillips. And he won't quite make it to the 25. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this 2nd half. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
Throwing now, Burrow on first down. Open man is Uzomah. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Here we go.
On second down, here's Mixon.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
They will throw on first down with Burrow. He's going to have the hook up here to Chase. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
Looking to throw again on second down. Burrow. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Here we go.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
On one, ready?
On 2nd and 11 now. Burrow. Slant pass to Bull. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So now factoring in the face mask, here's 1st and 10. Burrow will throw. Flushed out right. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
To throw again on 2nd down. Burrow. Open man is Chase, complete. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Derwin James with a pick. And the Chargers are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line. This spot in the fourth quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
They started on the ground with Eckler, and he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Once more, here's Eckler. And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
The Chargers on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4. Herbert now. And Cook has it, left side. And he's got room. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 120 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
A couple of first downs on the drive already as they'll go from the 47 now on 1st down. Here is Eckler. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down, fourth quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it out, and we've got them now.
And he'll get it down here to the 43.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be giving a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. And the last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll run out of the gun with Eckler. And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Here's Herbert. Oh, leaping, and he makes the grab. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Game in hand, the offense takes the knee. Ball at the 24 and a 2nd and 11. Out of the gun, Eckler running it and able to work his way down to the 16.
143 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Herbert to a knee, and that should just about write it into this one.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. So this one's over. It's in the win column for the L.A. Chargers. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. With that, we say so long from Cincinnati.